This week on the podcast, we have a slight confession to make about Call of Duty.
And we kind of started playing this little game called Destiny 2.
Plus, there's 2K games, NHL, NBA, BattleTech. We played more demos, trials, and betas than you could shake a stick at. And I'm like Captain Stick Shaker, alright? No, seriously, I went to school for stick shaking 3 summers in a row every other Sunday. Captain Stick Shaker. Find out what we thought coming up.
Cue the music. Greetings, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Silent Majority Gamers podcast, episode 4. I'm Limey Geek.
And I'm Insomniac Matt.
And this week we have a whole bunch of games that we played, a lot of demos and betas and stuff this week. Jam-packed week, so let's get right to it. So I wanted to start with a game that I went ahead and purchased the early access version of. It was a Kickstarted game, and they had a beta available, and so I went ahead and I caved and I did it, and that's BattleTech. Now, for those of you that don't know, the BattleTech universe is quite large. It was originally a tabletop game, and there was an RPG game, pen and paper RPG game, and there's been a whole slew of various video games around the BattleTech universe. And I remember when I was a kid playing the original MechWarrior on my Amstrad PC, where it's it's a first person where you're piloting these battle mechs, basically giant robots with weapons. But there was also resource management. You took missions and you saved up your money and you had to buy your mechs and repair them and stuff like that. It was very cool. And the original creators of BattleTech are working on a new game in the universe, but it is a turn-based strategy game, which I love.
Yeah, me
those
too.
kinds of games.
Me too.
Of course, XCOM being the most famous of those, which is awesome. So this is kind of like XCOM, but with giant robots. How can you go wrong? So the game was due out at the end of this year, and recently the developers have pushed it to 2018. They said they're going to early 2018, which is never a bad thing to push a game to make it better. But I was looking forward to the game coming out this year, and because they delayed it, I was like, maybe I'll jump in as a Kickstarter backer and get the beta. So I did that. So been playing that the last couple of weeks, and I'm really enjoying it. The beta doesn't have a whole lot in it. I'll admit it's mostly just a skirmish mode. So you're playing against the AI, so it's not very deep. Won't last very long. But for me, it's the nostalgia of going back and piloting some of those mechs like the Jenner and the Battlemaster and stuff like that. But the turn-based stuff just makes it even better. I'm really enjoying that, particularly like the way they've done the graphics and the weapon and missile and laser effects are just fantastic. When you have two of these giant robots slugging it out and hitting each other, it's really cool. So I've been enjoying that a lot. Also realized, as I was looking at that game, that there is a new first-person MechWarrior game, nice. MechWarrior 5, coming out, and it's due next year as well, although there's been very little info released on that. So I suspect that one might get delayed as well. But there is some alpha footage out there that's kind of cool. So if you're a fan of the BattleTech universe or the earlier MechWarrior games, recommend you check that out. I'll put a link to the MechWarrior 5 stuff in the video description so that you guys can check that one out.
I think the original MechWarrior on PC was the first game I pretty much ever played.
Okay.
I used to watch you play it. You would be done, and the computer was in Dad's study / my bedroom growing up. So I used to hop on there when everyone was out of there. I used to hop on and play it and had my own save. And that was pretty much the first PC game I ever played. I love it.
Yeah.
So what I ended up downloading was the EA Early Access 10-hour trial of NHL. Mm-hmm. NHL 18, being the resident Canadians that we are now, have to get some NHL in. And I mean, to start off with, it's the same base game. You're going to get your season out of it. You're going to get your created pro out of it. Ultimate teams, some online play. But what really stood out for me was the NHL 3s, which is this 3-on-3 plus a goalie action. And it's very arcadey and very crazy and so fun to play. At one point, the puck will glow a different color. and that'll denote a type of a power-up. So I think I had an orange puck, which when I scored, it gave me 2 goals instead of 1. And then I had a blue one, which when I scored, it gave me 1 goal, but it took 1 away from the opposing team. And halfway through the game, the Edmonton Oilers mascot came out to play. So I'm playing against this giant-headed, furry guy. It was hilarious. It's really fun. Completely different from anything else NHL's done before. It's typically been more of the simulation-style hockey. So, I mean, you know what you're getting when you're getting an EA Sports NHL game. If you're on the fence, I totally recommend picking it up solely for the new NHL 3's gameplay, campaign, single player mode thing. It's also co-op online as well. NHL 3's. Okay. So yeah, you can hop in.
We've got to try it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, really fun, refreshing. I've usually skipped the NHL the last little while. I wait until, because I have EA access. I'll wait until it's free, technically free. You pay for the service. But I'm seriously contemplating this one. 3's was a lot of fun. It really changed things up. Made me want to play some hockey again.
Yeah. I played it a little bit too. I haven't played the earlier games as much as you. 2 things that stood out to me. One is the new training mode, the tutorials, and the training camp that they put you through. They've done a really good job on some really good detailed videos that are also excellent at introducing you to the game and the mechanics. And coupled with that, the on-ice training mechanics. So the on-ice hints as to whether you should shoot or pass, or what button you should press. I found those even more useful this year than even in the past. I think they've done a really good job with that. The other thing with that game is it is not short on modes.
No.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
there's a big grid when you start the game up of what game mode you want to pick.
Yeah.
And there's got to be like 20 different modes on there. So can't fault them for the amount of content that game is going to have. So looked pretty good to me. I enjoyed the little bit that I played.
Yeah, nice.
So, speaking of 2018 demos, I downloaded and played the Pro Evolution Soccer 2018 demo. I've been a big fan of PES and Winning 11 before that, going back over the years. Not that I haven't played a lot of the EA FIFA games, because I have, and FIFA has generally been considered the better game in the last few years. But last year I bought PES and really enjoyed it, so I gave the demo a try, and they've taken the winning formula from last year and just made it that much better. A little bit more polished, graphics are a little crisper. It still has the great gameplay and the great feel to it. That's what I found I preferred in PES over FIFA last year, was just the actual flow and gameplay itself. FIFA will always have the better presentation. EA does that really well with all their sports titles. But I really liked the gameplay on PES last year, and this one this year was good too. I managed to play a couple of games in the demo. I was capturing some footage for this, and I managed to get a guy in the box and cross the ball, and he went up for the bicycle kick over the head and missed. And I was like, that would have been so awesome to score that one and show it. But I did score a couple of cool goals, which you'll see, and so that one was a lot of fun.
Nice. So also out this week was the NBA 2K18 demo / the prelude for when the game releases. So I downloaded that, and man, that's fun. Really loved the presentation with the 2K18. New mechanics of you walking around almost like a GTA style, walking around the city and things like that, and around the courts. So it was a limited demo. I got maybe an hour out of it, maybe an hour and a half.
Yep.
Right. So you do the Legends stuff, the Legends game, or the playing at the park. Make your way up, get yourself an agent, and then do an open workout demo with an NBA team.
Yep.
And man, is it crisp. Animations are fantastic. It really feels good. The control feels fantastic. I know you had been playing 2K16?
Yep.
Just to get back into it. I hadn't touched it, so it was really refreshing to pick it up and play. Really enjoyed it. What did you think?
Yeah, I had played. I'd been playing NBA 2K16 over the last few weeks, and even compared to that, 2K18 is a noticeable improvement in the crispness and the responsiveness. Like, I thought NBA 2K was good already, and this one seems like they've, they've just made it better this year than it was. I found that on defense it was a little easier to get and maintain position. So I thought that was a little easier. I still get past really easily. What I did find was offense was I found more difficult. So I had trouble getting around a defender and getting to the basket, although I tend to have trouble with that anyway. And I did find that shooting was more difficult to hit a basket.
Now they have that new feedback though with the shot,
which I really like, the new shot feedback, where it shows you how heavily contested you were and how good your shot release was. And I like the new shot meter as well, where it's showing on screen up by the player's head rather than on the ground by his feet where it was previously. So it's in a more natural place to see it.
Yeah,
and I much prefer that. So yeah, like you said, it was only an hour or two's worth of play, just enough to whet your appetite a little bit, but really like it. I'm seriously considering picking that one up.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like just another coat of paint this year. Like, they have not rested on their laurels and said, well, we're the best NBA game out there, so we're just going to put out new rosters and go. There's a significant feel difference when you're playing. So
it seems like they're taking a slightly different tack with the campaign or the story this time, where rather than coming up through college and being drafted like you have in the past, it's a situation where you are you're doing a workout for a team, and it looks like they're gonna sign you directly. So because you get to pick your favorite team, and hey, that's the team that calls you to do a workout. So which is kind of, in the previous games, one of the aspects I liked was actually, going with my starting team and getting good enough to then get traded to my favorite team. Yeah. Whereas this time you're just going to start out there right.
It makes you wonder how many people play that beyond the first season.
Yeah, that's
right. True. Or second season. It might take you a few seasons to get to your favorite team. So I kind of like the fact that it was them right off the bat. It was your favorite team that came to draft you right off the bat. Kind of no messing around. I don't have to.
Yeah, it speeds
that
process up for those
become a superstar for the first 2 years to get a contract where I want to go. So
yeah, that's true.
So up next is my favorite love-hate game, Call of Duty. So let's talk about that for a second, because we didn't talk enough about it last week.
No.
So we were on the beta, playing through. Very enjoyable. You can see our previous video for our impressions. How much we did actually enjoy it. But something happened. Yes, it did. So we had so much fun with the beta last week. Like, we should go back and we should play some more Call of Duty. The beta was over. Yeah. Want to scratch that itch. Yeah, exactly. So let's go back and play Modern Warfare Remastered, which we've been playing quite a bit previously. And we had a lot of fun. Yeah. With Modern Warfare Remastered, and realized just how good of a game it is, and I can't really put my finger on exactly what it is about that game that I find better or easier or more enjoyable, but it just was. It really was. Unfortunately, not to take anything away from Call of Duty World War II, because it looks like it's going to be a great game, but it did make us start to question, do we want to go ahead with this game this year? I mean, we both have families. We both have two commodities that we're short on, and that's time and money. Yeah. And so we can't buy and play everything. We do like to have a couple of games that we can play together. Yeah. So we kind of have to pick and choose what we're going to go with. And we got a little bit sidetracked this week, didn't we, Matt? Just maybe just a little. Yeah. So as you probably know, there was this little indie game that just came out called Destiny 2. And I had pre-ordered the game back at E3 in Canada. Best Buy had a promotion where you got 20% off any game that you pre-ordered during E3. So I just went crazy and pre-ordered a whole slew of games just in case, because you can always cancel the pre-order, and I figured better to have it. It gets you into the betas and stuff for Call of Duty and for Destiny 2. So I did that. I tried the Destiny 2 beta, but I felt it was kind of
very similar to Destiny 1, and I know you didn't really like Destiny 1 that much. I played the first Destiny through to max level, played through the story, but dropped off fairly soon after that.
Yeah.
You didn't really like it that much. So I was fully intending to cancel my pre-order and go on my way.
Yeah.
But what happened, Matt?
Well, I kind of bought it
Yeah.
with the digital deluxe version.
With the Season's Pass.
With the Season's Pass.
Yes.
So I saw some videos. I wanted something to play. And I kind of accidentally, spent money on the whole biggest package I could find for Destiny 2. And you know what? It's awesome. I love it. As you were saying, I wasn't a big fan of Destiny 1. It felt kind of drab. I mean, I know a lot of people love the shooting mechanics, and there was loot. And usually, if there are numbers flying off of someone when I shoot you, and you drop loot, I'm in. I don't care what else, nothing else matters. Damage numbers and loot? Sign me up. But Destiny 1 just, I don't know what it was. I couldn't get into it. I just didn't enjoy it as much as everybody else did. I know it was a very well received game, but it just wasn't for me. 5 minutes into Destiny 2, I am in love. The mechanics are great. It's a very colorful, beautiful looking game, especially the type of game it is, with being almost like an MMO type game. It's gorgeous. So much fun to play. Loot's fantastic. Sound is so good. Plus Nathan Fillion. I really shouldn't have to say much more than that. Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, it's you can't help but compare to Destiny 1.
Of course.
And Destiny 2, they have improved almost every aspect of the game, almost to the point where, Destiny 2 is sort of what you wish Destiny 1 would have been. The first game was good, and they certainly made a lot of improvements to it with the DLC down the road. I had dropped off.
Yeah, that year point. 1 DLC was insane. Yeah. Tons of stuff came out.
Yeah, so I found Destiny 1 got very repetitive and boring. I found the maps were kind of monotonous. The missions weren't that great. It did have really good shooting mechanics. That was the one thing I think it did well and that I liked. And like you say, the whole loot mechanism and leveling up is always good. But Destiny 2, they've taken all that and just dialed it way up and improved every part of it. The maps are varied and interesting, and like you said, they're colorful. The weapons are great. The missions are way more interesting and feel far less repetitive. And that whole leveling mechanic and looting, that gameplay loop, they've nailed it. Yeah. It's great. We've played a whole bunch of the game so far through co-op. I actually have 2 characters on the go. I have a solo character as well, and loads of fun.
Yeah, I just started a solo character myself, so we'll get there eventually. Did I mention it has Nathan Fillion in it? It's really good. It's
interesting because after I played the Destiny 2 beta, I looked at that, and other than some parts of it did look like very pretty and really good as far as the graphics go, but I played the beta and I was like, this seems like Destiny 1 to me. I think the beta was actually a terrible way it did a terrible job of introducing you to what's improved and better about Destiny 2, because the game is way better than I thought it was going to be. After playing the beta, I didn't even play that much of the beta. I was like, this is like same thing. They didn't do a very good job of really showing you what they had improved. I think part of that is because of the story.
Yeah.
They couldn't really, if they'd gone any further with the story, the beta ended right after that initial battle. Oh, okay. And so if they'd gone any further, they kind of would have spoiled more of the story. So I think that's why they didn't do that. Otherwise, they would have had to have started you sort of in the middle of the game or something. But without being able to do any of the open world stuff or any of the other missions, you really didn't get a good sense of the improvements they've made. So, if you liked Destiny 1, then you'll love Destiny 2. And even if you're on the offense initially or you didn't like it, if you like those sort of RPG games, MMO type stuff, then I can't recommend it enough at this point. Now we're only I'm not sure, halfway through the campaign maybe, so we'll report back on our findings. We may not get to play anything else in the next week. But
we'll see how the end game is as well, right?
That's still a question as to how detailed and what the end game is like.
Yeah, but if it's anything like Destiny 1, I do expect plenty of content to come through. So, you might get to a point where it's like, okay, I'll give Destiny 2 a break, but when the DLC comes out, you're right back to it. So we'll see how long it lasts, but I'm really liking it. Really, really happy with it. And this is coming from a guy who actually had the beta for Destiny 2, and that's how uninterested I was. I didn't even boot it up. I had other things to play. I wasn't as interested as in some of the other things that I had. I didn't even boot it up, and I'm actually glad I didn't, because if I didn't like that, I may not have pulled the trigger on this. But I'm glad I did, and I'm having a blast. Plus, did you know Nathan Fillion is in that? Yeah,
I hadn't heard.
Yeah, it's good. It's funny.
So that was a bunch of games we played this week. Lots of stuff, and I think that's enough for 1 week.
Yeah.
But please leave a comment on this video and tell us what you thought. We'd also want to hear your feedback about Silent Majority Gamers, the channel. Tell us the kind of things you'd like to see. We may start doing some Let's Play videos and some other things like that. So send in your feedback that way. Any questions you want to send us, questions or comments about this video, and we can answer them or address them on a future episode. You can leave a comment on the video, or you can also reach out to us on Twitter @SilentMGamers.
A like or a subscribe would be very nice as well.
Greatly appreciated. Please, yes, do subscribe to the video if you enjoyed it. And that'll do for this week from Limey Geek and Insomniac Matt. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
We played more demos, trials, and betas than you can shake a stick at. And trust me, my stick is huge. We'll be back in a flash. Huh? 'Cause I'm wearing a flash shirt.